Hi girls, it's Diana. I'm here with an update. If you don't feel like seeing somebody cry, if you don't feel like seeing somebody rant, if you don't feel like seeing somebody being negative in video, this is probably not, if this is the first video you're watching of mine, this is probably not the video that you want to watch. It's a rant video. I'm very frustrated, I'm very annoyed, I'm very irritated, I'm very deflated. So, cycle day 1 arrived yesterday, which I'm very happy about. No medicine, no medication needed. Came on schedule, on its own schedule, just like it does whenever it feels like it. Thanks PCOS. So, rewind earlier to the beginning of the week, actually on the weekend, on Saturday, I received a bill from my RE's office, and it was a pretty substantial bill for $1,800. I have been fighting with them about, I'm out of pocket. I've been out of pocket ever since I've been going to this place, right? So the last ultrasound, I want to say in February, sometime in February, they charged it to insurance. So my insurance sent me the bill because they're not covering it, right? They're not going to cover, which this was recent. They just recently sent me a bill for February. They sent me a bill that they said I was responsible for because it got charged to insurance. I paid a copay, and you should have known you were paying a copay, that this was going to get charged. This ultrasound for a follicle scan was going to be, Midge. This ultrasound was going to be charged to insurance. You had to know that, right? Of course, like I'm supposed to know that they're going to charge something to insurance. So they not only charged me double what they would have charged me, because they charge it to insurance, they charge insurance double the amount. I'm sorry, my dog's eating, you're just going to have to deal with it. They charged my insurance double what they would have charged me out of pocket, because they're charging insurance. That's how they do it. They charge insurance double than they normally would. They give patients a break. Okay, I understand that. So I paid out of pocket. They sent me a bill for like $255. That's my portion that was supposed to be covered for the follicle scan, which was supposed to be out of pocket. I get this bill, and I'm like, what is this about? Oh, we charged it to insurance. Oh, well, you're going to have to pay for it. That's pretty much what the lady told me. I don't think I told you guys about this because I didn't want to make a big stink about it. It shouldn't have been charged to insurance. I need to be more careful. You ladies need to really know that are going to these offices when your insurance isn't covered, your infertility visits are not covered by insurance, what they're charging and what they're not charging. That's what this whole thing taught me. So anyways, this was just this last cycle. I went in and I paid for the whole balance, which was like $300, because it was $255 plus the $125 that I had to pay for that ultrasound that day, the follicle scan that day, which was like a finish to the pre-op to make sure that everything was looking, or it was a follicle scan is what it was. It was a follicle scan. So I had to pay everything in full that day, which was $375, something ridiculous like that. Which led me not to do an IUI this past cycle because I put out so much money. I think it was like on a Sunday, or I think it was on a Saturday. It was on a Saturday that I went, and my IUI was supposed to be that Monday. Well, they did give me the shot to trigger. I did trigger, but we just had intercourse on our own. Because of the fact that I paid $355 out of pocket, $375, whatever it was a lot of money, almost $400 out of pocket, because of their mistake. That was number one. Number two was when I got a bill this past weekend for $1,800, and I thought it was for my laparoscopy and hysteroscopy that I just recently got, but I didn't know what it was for. Looking at the bill, there's so many charges on it, and deductions and minuses and insurance, and the whole insurance thing is confusing to me. I was in the Navy, so I never had to deal with insurance. This is like one of the first times ever in the history of me do I have to deal with insurance. Normally, the Navy always took care of it for me. I've never understood insurance since I've been out of the Navy. Anyways, so I don't contact them this week. I didn't want to deal with it in the beginning of the week. I didn't want it to bum out my whole week and put me in a pissy mood the rest of the week. Good thing I didn't, because I received another bill on Wednesday or Thursday. Chi-Chi, Wednesday or Thursday, and it was a bill for $35 from the same place that I go to. So I'm like, okay, that's a little weird. I get a bill for $1,800. I get a bill for $35. What's going on here? I guess I need to call them. So on my way home today, I gave them a call, and I had to leave a message, so they're calling me back. They call me back on my way home, and the girl says, you know, hey, what's going on? And this is the same girl that I've talked to before. It's the same girl that works there in billing that I've talked to before about the last ultrasound that I had a problem with, which I went in the office and spoke to her about because I wanted to know what the charge was about. So it's the same girl that's talking to me, and she says, you know, what's up? And I said, well, I was calling to check my balance on my account because I received 2 bills and both of them were different. So what is my account balance? She says to me, your account balance shows it is $35.32, which is the bill that I received. I said, okay. Then can you tell me what this other bill was about for $1,800? Why am I getting a bill like that? What is that bill for? I don't understand that. So she takes my date of birth. She looks into her system. Oh, that was in the old system. I said, okay. I thought I was paid up already. I don't understand the deal. You know, I don't understand. Can you explain to me what happened? She says, well, let me see. So she looks in and sees, and she says, oh, well, you had a HSG done last year. You also had some blood work and some labs that were sent to insurance that weren't covered, and all of this amount is the amount that was denied by insurance. And I'm thinking, no, everything was covered by insurance, because the ultrasounds that I got in July of last year was for my pregnancy, was when they found out that I had an ectopic and, you know, that whole business. And the HSG I thought was covered under insurance. That's the whole reason why I did it, because I had it before already. So she says, no, nothing was covered by insurance. It looks like we've been fighting the insurance company, and you know, this is the amount that you owe. Your insurance is not going to cover it, and this is your balance, and we need the balance before we can continue to see you any further. Thank you very much. And I'm like, where in the fuck am I supposed to pull out this money from my ass if I've been paying you this whole time? Like, this is what I'm thinking, right? I'm not going to sit there and cuss at the lady. But I'm thinking, okay, so I tell her, you know, where do you expect me to get this money from to send you payment, to give you payment in full? And how can you expect me to do this if this has been more than a year ago? I don't understand it. Can you audit my account? Can you do something? Is there anything you can do for me to look into? I'm going to need you to print out these records. I said, because I'm going in on Sunday for a cycle day 3 scan. And she says, well, we can't book you any appointments until your account is paid in full. So I immediately started crying. Waterworks, cycle day 3 today, by the way. No, it's today's cycle day 2. I started yesterday, which was Thursday, the 11th. And she says to me, you know, immediately waterworks start happening, because that means end of cycle, game over for me. Nothing else is going to happen until this money is paid, right? So initially I immediately start crying. And she tells me, I'm very sorry, there's nothing I can do. So I said, okay, thanks. And I hang up with her. I call my husband very upset, and he tells me, you know, it's okay, we'll do what we gotta do. We have the money, we'll pay it off, and we'll schedule you an appointment to go. And, you know, there's nothing we can do. What are you gonna do? Crying isn't gonna, you know, man thing. Don't worry, babe, we'll take care of it. He says, how about you call your insurance company? So I said, okay, that's a good idea. Let me get on the phone with insurance. So I call my insurance company. The insurance company says, okay, I'm here to see why you've been denying my claims. I know that, you know, some of these claims weren't supposed to be processed, but, you know, can you help me out? So he looks and he sees and he says, yes. He says, all of these claims were denied because they did not submit them in a timely manner. We have a contract with them that says they should submit these claims within XYZ time. They need to send an appeal to get these paid for. They should never be charging you. So I'm thinking, okay, well, how do we get this fixed? And he says, well, let's call the company. I'll happily call the company with you and call them on three-way. I said, okay, let's do it. So he calls the company, he calls his doctor's office, and he's talking to the girl. He had me on hold probably about 5 or 10 minutes, so I know he had to be discussing it with her without me on the phone. They get me on the phone, and he says, let me have her explain it better than I can, what's going on. So I said, okay. She says, your diagnosis is infertility. So these appointments never should have gone to insurance to begin with. They should have been out of pocket. So then I tell her, okay, well, what's about this, what's about this nonsense that you didn't submit them in a timely manner, that's why they got denied. And she said, whether or not we submitted them in a timely manner doesn't matter because they never should have gone to insurance to begin with. And I'm like, am I supposed to know that? Am I supposed to be the one that automatically knows that they're not supposed to go to insurance? Isn't that your responsibility as a doctor to take care of me? I don't have to call to, I've never had to call, I've never had to deal with insurance, right? I don't know what's covered and what's not covered. That's their job to tell me that, don't you agree? I mean, I would think that that'd be the courtesy of the place telling me, what my responsibilities are and what their responsibilities are. So, I'm probably going to upload this in a couple parts, but I really want to get this all out here. I'm so frustrated. So the guy, the girl tells me, that this shouldn't have been done to insurance to begin with because your diagnosis was already infertility, and she read off some medical mumbo jumbo that, says infertility diagnosis doesn't cover anything, with insurance, because I know, and we knew that from the get-go. So the gentleman lets me go, and I actually before that I start crying to her, and I start telling her, that I don't think this is fair because now it's putting off 3 or 4 cycles that we're going to have to wait to get this balance paid off, and they're the only way I'm going to have a baby. I have to get this balance paid off because I'm going to them because I'm having trouble having a baby. I'm crying at this point. I'm all cried out right now. I don't even feel it anymore. I don't even feel like crying. I got a huge headache, but so I tell her the fact of the matter is that I have to pay this balance off. I got to get a payment plan with her. I got to do something and pay this balance off because there's no other way I'm going to have a baby. They need to help me have a baby. That's the only way I can have a baby. And the guy lets me go, and he says, if there's anything I can help you with, I hope that everything turns out right with you, and I hope you're able to, fix this. And the guy was really nice. The insurance guy, he was really nice. So then I was on the phone with her for a little bit more, and she was looking and seeing, and she's like, oh, well, let me move some numbers around. Let me talk to an office man. Let me talk to the nurse, and let me see what I can do. So I hang up with her, and she calls me back, and she says, this is what I was able to do, and this is the lowest I was able to go. She said the bill went from $1,800 to $954, which is good, right? It's half, and that's perfect. But she tells me, I don't know, I'm happy with $900. I'd rather pay $954 than $1,800. I shouldn't have to pay any of it at all, but she tells me, so how I was able to get rid of it all is I'm treating it as if it was out-of-pocket expense. You're paying for this out of pocket. This is what we would have charged you out of pocket for some of these procedures. And she started to break them down. For the HSG, for some of their ultrasound, for some of the labs, and, all the stuff that they were charging me for. So I'm looking at it like, and the whole time she was telling me, oh, I'm going to get in so much trouble for doing this. Oh, well, that's just the way it is. Oh, they're going to be so mad at me. Oh, I'm going to get in so much trouble. If I get fired, I'm coming to, shut up. She says, if I get fired, I'm coming to your house to eat dinner. And making jokes about it, this and that. I was trying to cut up with her. Midget! I was, making up jokes, trying to cut up with her, but I really didn't feel like hearing her, because it's not like the money's coming out of her pocket. She's not going to get fired, otherwise she wouldn't have done it. So I tell her, okay, well, what about the appointments? Can we keep on going? I'm good for the money. I always have been. I don't want to leave these months wasted of not trying. And she says, well, I'm really sorry. There's really nothing I can do about that. the company that we're with doesn't allow us to book appointments when the patient has a balance. That way you don't get in the hole and it gets deeper and deeper. Which is bogus, because after I had hung up with her the first time, the nurse called me, because I called the nurse and I called her. I left a message with the nurse for a cycle day 3 ultrasound to schedule it on Sunday, which I was trying to be a day ahead because of my follicles not cooperating in the timely manner. I was going to try to give them a 1-up and trick them. I was going to try to schedule an ultrasound for Sunday, and I was going to tell her that today was cycle day 1. I was going to try to schedule an ultrasound for Sunday, and the nurse calls me and says, I'm calling you to schedule your cycle day 3 ultrasound. Do you have any questions? And I said, no. So they put me through to the office lady that was going to schedule my appointment, and she didn't tell me nothing about not being able to schedule an appointment because I had a balance. I told her, which I shouldn't have. I don't know why I was being honest. I said, I just got off the phone with so-and-so. She told me that I couldn't schedule an appointment because I have an outstanding balance. And she says, oh, well, that's the first I hear of it. Let me see. So she hangs up the phone. She talks to the girl. And then I'm hating myself because I should have just scheduled the appointment. That way I could have had a cycle day 3 and at least one more appointment before they don't take me, right? But it was only a cycle day 3. It's not like they were scanning for follicles or anything. So back to the story, she says, there's nothing we can do. The company doesn't let us give you appointments if you have an outstanding balance. So that's where we're at. I am not going to pay off the balance. I refuse to pay off the balance. I am going to write a letter to the doctor and let him know that he has lost my business as a paying customer, which I've been going to him for a year now. I've spent more than $5,000. Each treatment has cost me at least $600 to $700 per treatment, depending on the way I go. I always have to go back for more than one ultrasound on the cycle. The ultrasounds are $125. I've gone back for at least 4 or more in each cycle because I always need that extra appointment to check follicles. I've done at least 6 IUIs with them, which was $245 a pop. If you add in the trigger shot that they give me, it's another $80. I've spent good money with them for well over a year, and I've been their patient for well over a year, and they lost me over $900. Tell me if that makes sense. So I was talking it over with my mom and talking it over with my girlfriend. I'm so frustrated, and these are the frustrations that you deal with, that people with infertility deal with. You deal with insurance companies, you deal with money, the stress of money, you deal with the stress of growing follicles in your body, you deal with the stress of your body not doing things right. It's just, I'm so upset, I'm so frustrated. I want to just throw my hands up in the air and quit, but just something inside of me keeps telling me, be positive, don't look down, things are going to work out. But I can't help but think that we shouldn't have to be going through this. We shouldn't have to be going to these appointments and having a baby the way women have babies normally. We shouldn't have to do this. We should work normal. There should be nothing wrong with our bodies. I'm so frustrated. I'm so frustrated. And my mom put it in the right perspective. She told me that it's not up to us to question. It's not up to us to question the plans of God and the things that God does for us, and He's going to take care of us, and He's going to give us the desires of our heart, and it's the trying times. It's the trying times that's going to test us, and that's going to shake our faith, but we have to remain faithful, and And we have to carry on the hope, and we have to believe, and we have to know that God is going to take care of us. But I can't help but feel these negative feelings and think these negative things. And I try to be positive all the time, because you surround yourself with positive people, you're going to live a positive life. That's honestly what I believe. Nobody wants a negative channel where somebody's crying all the time, somebody's upset all the time. That's why I try to make my channel so positive, and I just emit positive energy. I'm a positive person. That's who I am. But I just can't help but be negative during this time, and just be so upset with my body and upset with myself. And never have I been upset with God and asking Him. Never, not once have I said, God, why did you do this to me? Because there's a reason why. There's a reason why He gave me what He gave me, and how He created me. There's a reason why, and I don't question that reason. Not once have I ever questioned it. Not once have I ever questioned, God, why haven't you given me a baby? Because I know that He will. And I've asked Him for it, and I've thanked Him. I've thanked Him continuously for the baby that He's going to give all of us. Because I know that it's going to happen one day. It's just trying times, and it's just these times that you can't lose faith, ladies. You got to remind yourself. You can't lose faith, and you can't lose your focus. You have to remain positive. You have to look for the positive things in life. I have a wonderful life. I have a wonderful husband. I have a wonderful family, wonderful support group that's been here for me. There's so many good things in life to look forward to, and it's just a little bump in the road. It's just a little bump in the road. So I'm here to share with you that I do think negative thoughts, and I do have negative feelings, but you just gotta push them away. You just don't want to be in that dark place. You don't want to let yourself sink so deep that you just think negative thoughts is just not conductive to trying to conceive, and not conductive to the faith that you have in God. And you just got to pull yourself from these pits and just deal with the hand that you were given. It's not our place to question everything in life and why things happen the way they do. You just got to roll with the punches. You just got to roll with it, shake it off, stand up, shake yourself off, and just move on. Even though you want to crawl into a little ball and just cry, which I probably will. And I didn't think I had enough tears left inside of me, but obviously I do. It's just so draining and so emotional, this whole thing that we've gone through. It just makes you want to just give up, Kind of makes you think, when is enough enough? I don't know. I'm just so frustrated. And I know that I'm not the only one going through this, because those offices that we go to, girls, they're jam-packed all the time. You know that there's women out there that are suffering just like we're suffering. They just don't have the voice to express it. What I want to do is I really want to write my doctor a letter and just tell him and explain to him, I totally love my doctor's office. I totally love my doctor. I've never not said one bad thing about the doctor, except for the pervert that groped me. That was the only guy with no warning for a reach around. He didn't give me any warning. He just did his business, and that was kind of shocking. That's the only weirdo that I have a complaint about. And he's the big wig. He's like the main guy, head of all of them. So I can't really say anything about him. Although I might tell him in my letter, that I really didn't appreciate that. But I love my doctor's office. I love my girls that I go in and see, and I love that, they're happy to see me in ways, but they're not happy, because if it means that they are seeing me, that it means that I'm not having a baby yet. But when I got pregnant, they were happy with me. When I walked out of that appointment and my heart was ripped out, they were there for me. I love them. I love them so much. And you get so close to these people, and I don't want to leave this doctor's office, but I don't want this to happen anymore, you know? It's just been such a hassle these past couple of months. I never have any problems. I've never had any problems up until today. But I want to write him a letter. And I want to tell him, you know, that I don't know where I don't know. I got to write the main gropey guy. Dear Mr. Groper. Do you guys see that I cut my hair? I don't know if I've showed you in the vlog or not. I've had it up all day. I had a headache because I'm crying, but let's look some fuzz. Got it cut when my sister was here. Anyways. You know, dear Mr. Groper, I don't appreciate the bill that you've left me with, and I don't appreciate the fact that I have to waste, you know, a couple of cycles just to pay you off, and I don't appreciate your policies that don't allow people, which I understand, okay, they have a policy set in place because they've probably been burned before. Somebody ruins it for everyone, but I'm just frustrated. There's another doctor's office in town. I could go to them and see what they can do, and I just love my doctor. Yeah, I love him. He's nice. He's a really nice guy. Hasn't been able to get me pregnant. It's not his fault, but it's my body. I'm just so frustrated. I don't know if there's anything else I wanted to talk about. I think I hit all the main things. The main thing I wanted to tell you girls was that when you get into a dark place, you just got to pull yourself out. It's not the end of the world, you know, because it's not. It just feels like it at the moment, but it's not. Not having a baby is not going to be the end of the world. Certainly won't make it whole. Certainly won't make me feel whole, but I only can do what I can do, and the rest is up to God. That's what I'm here to remind you about. So upset. I tried calling my sister. My sister wasn't there. She was on vacation. So I knew it was kind of a fat chance for her to answer her phone. She hardly ever answers her phone. That's a lie. She does answer her phone. She just, whenever I really need to talk to her is when she doesn't answer her phone. And I called my mom. My mom didn't answer her phone. It's so frustrating. When people don't answer their phone when you need to talk, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes you just need to talk. I just needed to vent. I just needed to let it out. My girlfriend was there, though. She answered her phone. She's always there for me. I'm so lucky to have people in my life that I could talk to. And you girls, I'm lucky for you girls, because I'm sitting here crying, talking to myself. And it just makes me feel better. I hate that we have to go through this. I have the worst headache. Tomorrow is another day, right? We'll see what happens. That's what I think I'm going to do with this cycle. I think what I'm going to do with this cycle is I have enough medication to do it on my own and do a rogue cycle. And I don't know whether or not to do a trigger or to OPK and let myself ovulate on my own. I don't know if that's been the problem. So I don't really know what to do in that aspect. If you girls can give me any feedback, if you're still watching, if you can give me any feedback, I'd appreciate it. I'm going to take same thing I took last cycle. I'm going to take letrozole starting tomorrow. Cycle day 3, I'm going to take 2 pills for like 5 or 6 days, whatever he gave me. I've already refilled the prescription. I'm going to get a refill of the HCG. Maybe I could basal body, do my basal body temperature. Maybe that would help. I probably have enough for maybe 3 cycles on my own. But I won't be able to get any ultrasounds or any scans unless I get in with that other doctor's office, which they're probably going to want to do initial consults and stuff. I need a little bit of guidance. I don't know what to do. I'm definitely going to try on our own this cycle, though. I can't have any more wasted cycles. I've had too many. I'm not getting any younger. Thank you for letting me vent. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your support and your kind comments and your encouragement. I'm so lucky to have you girls with me, and I'm so happy that I've decided to vlog this crazy journey. I don't know where I would have been. I'd be in a corner somewhere doing God knows what. Feels better. Isn't it weird how you talk to a camera and you feel just instantly better sitting here talking to yourself? We're all nuts. We're all nuts. I feel a lot better. That's what I needed. If ever you feel bad, vlog about it. Makes you feel better. Just give it a good cry. Let yourself cry. This will be in 3 parts. Maybe 4 or 5. I don't know. We'll see. I'll keep you girls posted. All my love. You take care. To those of you still struggling, my love to you all. Keep up the fight. Keep up the faith. Don't ever lose hope. It's not over. Life will not be ended. Just take a little bit longer. Just got to keep trying. You're not alone. So I guess I'll see you when I see you. I'll keep you posted as often as I can as far as what's going to happen, and the letter that I send to my doctor, I'll let you know. I'll keep you posted. If anybody else has gone through this, let me know in the comments below. Let me know what happened. Let me know what you did. You take care, girls. We'll talk to you later. My love to all.